What's going on, guys? Myth here, and today I got a video for you guys. I got a theory video for you guys. I believe that Dr. Monty is actually not a keeper, and he's not actually even an apothecon. I believe he's not even part of their race. Uh, I believe that he's not even human, he's something else. So, I have some notes up in front of me. I have the Reddit forums and the Call of Duty Zombies forums up in front of me. And I have some quotes I'm gonna read off and go off of here. So, uh, right here we have Monty talking about, and now I've got the Shadow Man and the Apothecary cons throwing an intergalactic spanner in the works. He's talking about how he doesn't like the Apothecons, the Apothecary cons. But when he speaks about the Keepers, he says, the Keepers, an ancient order who had been granted the wisdom to see beyond the limitations of their own realm. So, the Keepers, not like us. And the quote continues, even while the rest of mankind scrambled around, almost saying as like the Keepers are part of mankind, is what it seems like. Scrambled around in the dirt, drinking their own piss. The Keepers took the realm of benevolent watchers. So, were these humans that just became benevolent watchers? Like seers and sages of the old world? They could only foresee how the actions of the Apothecans would lead to the destruction of life itself. And life itself, that's something that comes up later on also. Later on in this quote, or the next quote that he says. The Keepers have always been there, much like you and your good selves. They've been scattered across the multiverse. Uh, they have acted erratically, but know this, their actions were only ever concerned with the preservation of life itself. So, life itself, not just fully human life, but any kind of life, because the timeline also mentions uh, just how the universe is life itself, how the universe continuing on, the universe is living, it's a living thing. And I find that really interesting because the keepers who don't really seem to actually be human. Well, I mean, they look very different. You can see that keepers look really different, but if we're assuming Monty's a keeper, he looks the same. You could just say he has that kind of form, just like how the Shadow Man changes to that apothecon looking squid form in the Revelations Easter egg. But we still have to think then, what's Monty's normal form? Is it a red floating keeper? But like in Shadows of Evil? Now, those red keepers you'd assume were good, but the corrupted keeper in Der Eisendrache turned red. So, is it red keepers are bad keepers and blue keepers like the ethereal ghostly keeper in Der Eisen that helps you get the bow and, goes there before it gets trapped in the MPD? And the MPD itself, it corrupts with the Dark Ether. It corrupts Samantha and Richtofen with the Dark Ether. And if a Keeper goes into it and gets corrupted, goes in blue and comes out corrupted red, it did grow and get a lot bigger, unlike the Keepers or the Apothecons in Shadows of Evil. They were just small and red. And I know the story behind the Shadows of Evil is that they're the good guys and they're trying to stop us from taking the summoning key because it resides there. And they're alright with us, like, taking it because the Apothecons are all there. Like, it doesn't really make too much sense why they would shift so easily to help us if they knew we were getting help from the Shadow Man. I believe that those are actually corrupted keepers, or they're the red is different than the corrupted keepers, the Apothecons. There's corrupted keepers and Apothecons, and they're both bad. neither of them are actually good. That means Monty and everything that he controls is not good, and everything that Shadow Man controls and the Apothegms control are also not good. I believe that there's some sort of reincarnation going on, because in uh, uh, Alcatraz, there's the cycle, and we have at the very end of Revelations the picture of Primus holding the stabs up, and it's the cycle. Everything's the cycle, but reincarnation is a cycle, and we saw that uh, the statues were of our characters, but they could just be reincarnations. They couldn't. They could be different dimensions, different universes, different omniverses, whatever he wants to call it these days. Whatever Monty wants to call it. Whatever Treyarch's doing these days. But what if they are just reincarnations? What if they are reincarnations of the original keepers, the ones that were never corrupted, the ones that weren't bad, the ones that were watchers? Ones like Monty. What if Monty doesn't even know that we are his friends, or we were his friends? I don't know. Just a theory. Just a theory video. I don't really have too much else to say. Um, Monty mentions about us, even when you were just a little problem brewing in the corner of existence. We were a problem brewing in the corner of existence? Is that because we were fucking around with Moon? Or is it because we were going against his plan to rule over everything himself? I mentioned earlier that he always talks about the keepers, the keepers, the keepers, the keepers. He never says we, the keepers. He just says the keepers and mentions they as the keepers. What if he was never a keeper? Like, really interesting stuff here. The other half of this quote is, I threw you a bone or two. I told you this before, right? Like the magic box, left little clues here and there, tried to give you guys a little help without drawing too much attention to myself, blah blah blah, whatever he says there. I'm just saying that Monty's telling you to like not trust the Shadow Man and this and that, but it almost feels like projection. It's like, don't trust just a random source telling you anything, and that's like an evil person saying, don't trust me. I'm gonna screw you over in the end. And that's what he does. He screws you over in the end in Revelations. He tries to get rid of you, and you drink the blood vials. But that's another thing. Yeah, Richtofen read the Chronorium, and he understands that, and just the timeline is just one page of the Chronorium. Like, I know on chronorium.com, Mr. Awful's website, like, he put it all into a book, but the entire page is just one page of a actual book, which is insane. So, if this is one page, if this is one entry out of the hundreds of thousands of entries, then Richtofen might know more than Monty. And if Richtofen has a strategy, if he has an idea to surpass Monty's idea, drink the blood vials, survive, you know, if he outsmarts Monty, maybe Monty isn't somebody we actually can trust. Maybe Monty isn't this all benevolent being. Either way, like I said, just a theory. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll probably be seeing you guys next time. I've been thinking about zombies a lot. I have a lot of theory videos. I have a lot of theories that I want to make into videos. But I just want to see how some go down. How this goes down. This is kind of just on the spot. Like, I've been thinking about this a lot, and I just wanted to make a video, just wanted to talk about it, just wanted to get some thoughts out there. Maybe we can have some discussion in the comments. And yeah, the zombie storyline is just insane. Like, there's zombies YouTubers left, right, and center, and Jason Blundell's sitting there laughing because he's like, yeah, but what about the ultimate Easter egg? The impossible Easter egg that I mentioned a while ago? What about all those ciphers you still haven't completed? And we gotta be thinking about the future of zombies because what's going on next, what's going on after Revelations is more interesting, at least to me. See you guys later. Peace.